The porcelain figurine slipped from your trembling hands before your mind could even register the mistake. It spiraled downward in slow motion, wide, delicate, perfect, until the figurine hit the marble floor and exploded into glittering shards. Your breath caught in your throat, your pulse roared in your ears, your fingers hovered in the air, frozen in the shape of the mistake you couldn't undo. For 2 seconds, the word held its breath, then came the footsteps, hard, fast, sharp, enough to stab the silence. Your stomach dropped. Jungkook silhouette filled the doorway before his face stood tall, cold, and already furious. His eyes scanned the floor, the shards, then your trembling figure kneeling amongst the wreckage. His jaw tightened, nostrils flaring. What did you do? Your lips parted, breath shaking. Jungkook, it was. I didn't mean the figurine. He stepped closer, even the air around you felt like it flinched. That was Elara's gift. Her birthday is tonight. He exhaled sharply, a humorless laugh escaping. Do you enjoy destroying things that are not yours, wife? The way he said wife felt like a slap before the real one. You swallowed your voice, barely a whisper. I would never. It just slipped. I swear it slipped. Chunguk tilted his head slightly, studying you with cold disgust. Accidents don't happen that easily, not when it comes to her. Tell me. He leaned closer, voice dropping into a dangerous whisper. Are you jealous of her? Your eyes widened, heart sinking. What? No, Chunguk, why would I? But he didn't wait. Something snapped inside him anger, frustration, resentment from being forced into this marriage. He raised his hand and the word blurred heart. Unrestrained, violent. Your head snapped to the side, your cheek igniting with a sneering burn. But worse, your lip caught between your teeth from the impact. A metallic taste flooded your mouth. A thin trail slipped down your lower lip, warm against your trembling chin. Your vision blurred as tears fell despite your efforts to hold them back. Jungkook's chest halved, his glare filled with a rage you didn't deserve. Clean it up, all of it. If you can't even handle a simple thing, then maybe you shouldn't touch anything at all. Your hands shook violently as you dropped to the floor, shards glittering like rolls stars around you. You tried to pick up a large piece with bare fingers, a sharp edge sliced your skin. Blood blossomed instantly, dripping onto the marble. You flinched, letting out a tiny, involuntary gasp of pain. That sound, that tiny cry destroyed something inside him. Chunguk's expression flickered. For just a heartbeat, the anger broke, concern cracked through. He crouched beside you, reaching for your cut hand. Stop, you're bleeding, let me. But the moment his fingers pressed yours, you ripped your hand away like his touch bond. Don't touch me. The rejection hit him harder than any slap could have. His eyes widened slightly, hurt, guilt, something unspoken flickering through them before he buried it all behind that cold, emotionless mask. Your blood dripped onto the floor between you, forming a small red stain on the marble, the first mark of marriage already breaking. Jungkook didn't speak, he didn't move, he didn't even breathe. He just stared at you, at the girl he had been forced to marry, at the wife he had struck, at the women now retreating from him like he was poison. The silence that followed was louder than the slap itself. He realized it too late. You were not just hurt, you were done. The house had never felt this quiet, not when Jungkook ignored you, not when you tried avoiding him, not even during your coldest fights. But now the silence wasn't passive, it was a weapon, and you were finally using it. Later that night, Jungkook pushed open the bedroom door, his steps slow and strangely hesitant, a contrast to the furious man from earlier. He saw you standing near the window, arms wrapped around yourself, cheeks still pink from his slap, lips swollen. You turned slightly just enough to see him from the corner of your eye. Chungu exhaled, almost relieved you were there. He opened his mouth to speak, but the moment he took a step inside, you stepped back, not dramatically, not angrily, just one small, quiet step backward, but it felt like you moved an entire world away from him. Jungkook froze mid-step, her eyes lowered to the floor, refusing to look at him. No shouting, no crying, no pleading, just silence. And that silence hit him harder than any argument ever could. His throat tightened, his fingers curled slowly at his sides. Wine, you should sit your heart. You didn't answer. Instead, you moved further away, silently, gently, as if it was something dangerous you needed distance from. Jungkook's jaw clenched. Stop doing that. Still silence, you didn't even look at him. For the first time since marrying you, Jungkook felt something unfamiliar settle in his chest, regret and fear. He stepped forward again and again. You stepped back. This time he flinched. His voice dropped to a whisper that barely reached you. Wine, please stop walking away. Your silence was your reply. It was the colder than your tears, sharper than the shards that cut your skin, and heavier than the slap he gave you. The next morning, Jungkook was still awake, sitting on the couch, fingers tangled in his hair, replaying your silence again and again. The doorbell rang. He didn't even have to look. Only one person rang the doorbell like she owned the house, Elara. She entered wearing a fitted cream dress, heels clicking confidently, perfume trailing behind her like expensive animal Ghent. Polished perfect, her eyes found Jungkook instantly. Baby, what happened to you? You look stressed. Jungkook stood up slowly, irritation flickering in his eyes. He wasn't in the mood. It's nothing, you didn't have to come. Lara walked closer, placing her manicured hand on his chest, voice slipping into a seductive whisper. I want to see my gift, the one you bought for me. Where is it? Jungkook tensed, he didn't answer, but Elara didn't need him to. She saw the faint scratches on his hand from sweeping the shards earlier. Her lips curled into a knowing smirk. Oh, don't tell me. She chuckled lightly. Your little wife broke it. Jungkook shut his eyes briefly, jaw tightening. Laura took that reaction as confirmation. She laughed, soft, elegant growl. Of course you did. She can't stand that you love me. Jungkook shot her a warning look. Laura, enough. But she only smiled wider, leading closer. So, did you at least remind her of her place? Jungkook stiffened. Elara tilted her head, lips curving. You did, didn't you? Her eyes sparkled with amusement. Good, she deserved it. Jungkook's expression dark and voice colder than ice. It's not something to smile about. Laura blinked, surprised for the first time. What? Jungkook? She's nothing. She's the girl your parents forced on you. We both know who you actually care about. You had walked into the hallway at the wrong moment, or maybe the right one, clutching a small towel against your bleeding lip. Lara's eyes flicked to your bruise. She didn't look shocked. She looked satisfied. Oh dear, look at you, still clumsy, are not you? You stared at her silently. Your eyes were dull, exhausted, empty. Jungkook noticed something in him twisted painfully. He stepped toward you subconsciously, and you stepped back again right in front of Elara. Jungkook froze. Elara smiled. And for the first time, Jungkook hated the look in Ilara's eyes. 2 days later, Jungkook's parents invited both of you to a family gathering. You didn't want to go. Jungkook didn't want to go either, but refusing would raise too many questions. So you ended up walking beside him through the luxurious hall filled with relatives, music, and smiling faces. Faces that had no idea your world was falling apart. As soon as the first family members approached, Jungkook slipped into the role he had mastered, the perfect husband. His palm settled firmly on your waist, possessive confidence, as if nothing was wrong. It burned, but you didn't push him. You simply lifted your hand and removed his quietly, calmly, coldly. His hand froze midair. He stared at his now empty palm like it betrayed him. Wine. You didn't look at him. You just walked ahead. That small rejection. That quiet refusal of his touch hurt him more than he expected, more than he wanted to admit. He followed you silently, jaw clenched, pride bruised, heart confused. Later, when you greeted Jungkook's mother, she cupped your face gently and her hand stilled your cheek, the faint bruise, the slight swelling, the cut lip, her eyes widened with silent horror. Why? What happened? You froze, your throat tightened. You shook your head softly, but she wasn't fooled. Her fingers gently touched the tender skin. Did my son do this? You stared at the floor. You didn't speak. Your silence was the only answer she needed. She swallowed hard and her heart breaking in her eyes. That night, she called both of you into the living room. The house was silent, too silent. You stood on one side, Chuguk stood on the other, stiff, jaw clenched, shoulders tense. His mother looked at him with disappointment heavy enough to crush the air. Chungkook, look at your wife. He raised his eyes slowly, guilt slipping through. Did you do this? Chung didn't answer at first. He stared at you, not your bruise. Not your cut lip, but your eyes. Your eyes that no longer softened at him, your eyes that no longer trusted him. And suddenly he felt every ounce of shame. Yes. The moment the word left his mouth, his mother's hand flew. A sharp, loud crack echoed through the room. His mother's palm reddened instantly. Jungkook's head turned from the force. You gasped softly, covering your mouth. His mother's voice trembled with fury and disappointment. How dare you lay a hand on her? Is this how I raised you? Is this the man you want to become? Jungkook didn't defend himself, didn't speak, didn't lift his eyes. He just stood there, jaw clenched, absorbing the hit he knew he deserved. His mother took your hands gently. You don't deserve this wine. You bite your lip, eyes fling, but you didn't cry. You just nodded. Jungkook saw that nod and it shattered him. Later that night, you couldn't sleep. You walked downstairs to get water, but stopped when you heard voices from Jungkook's office, Elara's voice. Jungkook, I'm not waiting anymore. If you want my help with the investors, The documents need to be signed this week or we are done. You froze behind the door. Jungkook sounded exhausted, nothing like the arrogant old man you married. Elara, you know my parents won't agree to that, not now. You married her because of them, not because you wanted her to make them agree. It's not that simple. It is, you just don't want to admit that you need me more than I need you. Silence, then Jungkook spoke, voice slow, defeated. I didn't even want to marry you either. Not really. I just stayed because it was comfortable, predictable, and now everything is falling apart. Your heart tightened. He didn't want her. He didn't want you. He didn't want anyone. He just clung to whoever stayed closest. Lara laughed, not sweet, not elegant, but sharp, mocking. You're losing everything, Jungkook, and it's all because of her. You just tightened painfully. You didn't want to hear more. You didn't want to stand in the doorway of a life you didn't belong in. So you stepped back quietly. But the moment your footsteps creaked, Jungkook's head lifted. He saw you standing there, eyes glossy but emotionless. A ghost of the girl who once tried to make this marriage work. Your lips trembled, but you forced them still. I'm done. Jungkook's breath hissed. Wine wait, but you didn't. You walked away, not slowly, not hesitantly. You walked away like someone who had finally stopped bleeding. Laura smirked behind him, arms folded, but Jungkook, for the first time, he realized losing you hurt more than he ever expected. Months passed, the mansion that once echoed with your quiet footsteps now felt painfully empty. You had left without a fight, without a note, without a single backward glance. Your son's was the final punishment. And Jungkook lived with it every day. Your life now, you lived in a different city, working at a small flower shop, peaceful, warm, gentle, no shouting, no manipulation, no bruises blooming on your skin. You smiled again, not fully, not freely yet, but you were healing and you never looked back. It happened unexpectedly. You were closing the flower shop, pulling down the shutters, humming softly when a familiar shadow stretched across the ground. You froze before you even turned. His voice was softer than you remembered, tired, cracked, almost unfamiliar. Wine, your breath hitched, you turned slowly. He looked different, no arrogance, no cold mask, no untouchable confidence, just a man who finally understood what he destroyed. Why are you here, Jungkook? Your voice was steady. He swallowed as if your calm terrified him more than your anger ever could. I needed to see you, even if you don't want to see me. Silence, a car passed by, the cold air brushed your cheek, the one he once brushed. He noticed, of course he did, his eyes softened painfully. Your cheek healed a long time ago. His jaw tightened because he understood the hidden meaning, but the wound you left inside didn't. He stepped closer, but not too close. He was finally respecting a boundary. My mother still hasn't forgiven me for that night. I haven't forgiven myself either. He looked away. Good. He exhaled shakily. The cold dominance was gone, only raw truth remained. I never should have touched you like that. I never should have raised my voice. I never should have. His voice broke, lost you. You closed your eyes for a moment, studying your heartbeat. You didn't lose me that night, Jungkook. You opened your eyes, meeting his. You lost me the moment you made me afraid of you. He flinched visibly. He took one hesitant step closer. You took one step back. It shattered him, not dramatically, not loudly, quietly in the way a breaking heart makes no sound at all. He nodded slowly, accepting it. If distance is what you need, I'll give it to you. You didn't answer, you didn't need to. He turned away, the strongest man you once knew, looking like he could barely stand. Before getting into his car, he whispered without looking back, I'm not asking you to return or to forgive me. Just let me be someone you don't hate. Your fingers curled around the cool mattress shutter. You didn't call him back, you didn't chase him, you watched as he got into the car, hands trembling on the steering wheel, and drove away slowly, like leaving you was the hardest thing he had ever done. You locked the shop and walked inside. Your heart ached, but it wasn't breaking anymore. You survived him, you healed, and now your story was finally yours.